Hello, my friends. Welcome to another adventure with ChatGPT and the world of AI. Today, we're going to be taking a look at something known as prompt engineering. I'm going to teach you the basics of it, the very basics, but I'm going to teach you a powerful model to get you started with great prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering is all about the prompts you put into the AI. It's all about making sure that these prompts are as precise and as robust as they need to be. So prompt engineering is a concept in AI, particularly natural language processing. In prompt engineering, the description of the task that the AI is supposed to accomplish is embedded in the input. I always say it's all about the prompts. So you see this image on the screen. I gave the AI some specific prompts for it to generate this image. I told it specifically it was Elvira, and I told it specifically about the money part of this image that I wanted depicted. So it gives you what you put in. Prompt engineering typically works by converting one or more tasks to a prompt-based data set and training a language model with what has been called prompt engineering-based learning, or just prompt engineering. I'll give you a few examples really quick of good prompts and bad prompts. Here's a poor prompt. Translate this sentence to French. No sentence given. Good prompt. Please translate the following sentence into French. I would like to order a coffee and a croissant. So you're giving it more specific information. Or write a short story. It's rather vague. What is short to you, right? But write a 500-word short story that includes the following three elements: a red balloon, a deserted beach, and a mysterious stranger. Or generate an image of a cat versus please generate an image of a white Persian cat sitting on a windowsill looking out at the moonlit city skyline. Now that is an example of poor prompts versus good prompts, but I've got several more. If you take a look here, just do a freeze frame. There's so many of them, too many for us to take a look at every single one, but we've got make me a sandwich versus make me a turkey and Swiss cheese sandwich. You get the idea. So you see the specificity in your command is what makes a good prompt versus a bad prompt. Now, in the very beginning, I said I was going to teach you a new model, so let's jump straight into that model. The model is the role, goal, benefit prompt language model, coined by yours truly. Because I come from the world of Agile, I take things from the world of Agile and use them. So the role, goal, benefit language model is really from the world of user stories, right? It's been around for a long time. And all I'm doing is taking that structure of a user story and crafting it into my prompt. So here's an example. As a sales rep, you are a sales representative for a software company. This is you telling the AI what it is, the role that it is meant to generate the data about. So the goal is to sell a new project management software to a potential customer. The benefit, increased productivity. Now look, you're going to take all this information and you're going to say, as a sales representative for our software company, your goal is to sell our new product management software to a potential customer. You see what you've done? You've set up the scenario so that the AI knows how I'm meant to be thinking, what I'm meant to be going after. And by doing so, you will help them increase their productivity and streamline their project management processes, leading to more efficient and effective project delivery. So you have made it so precise that it is almost impossible for the AI to get lost. So let's take a look at an example. Let's go into the tool, and I'm going to take this same prompt. I'm going to put in a crummy prompt, and I'm going to put in a great prompt, and you'll be able to see the difference for yourself. So let's go ahead and take this text as a sales representative and put this in, and take a look at what it generates. Extremely robust output, very precise. You see what it's trying to do here? It's trying to increase productivity and streamline the PM process. You see, it's trying to get the language to be in line with the story. So that's just one example. Let's go to the second example. The next example that I have for you is from the world of teaching. So primary school teacher. You're a teacher at a primary school. Introduce a new interactive learning tool to your students. Increase student engagement and improved learning outcomes is what you're after. And then you got to craft it with the role, goal, benefit language. As a primary school teacher, your goal is to introduce a new interactive learning tool to your students, and the benefit by doing so, you will increase student engagement. So take a look again at how the wording is going to be set up in such a way that whoever is reading or listening finds it exactly what we want it to be. So there's the script. By incorporating this into our classroom, we can increase student participation and motivation, leading to improved academic performance. Do you see how robust the answers that the AI tool gives you, right, are in this case? Let's go to one or two more examples. Here's another example of the role, goal, benefit language model. So marketing manager, you're a marketing manager for retail brand, launch a new clothing line for the upcoming season. The benefit, increased sales and brand awareness. As a marketing manager for a retail brand, your goal is to launch our new clothing line for the upcoming season. By doing so, you'll increase our sales and brand awareness, leading to greater customer loyalty and success in the marketplace. I'm going to skip over these because I've got so many examples to show you. We don't have time for all of them. There's one of the HR manager looking very unimpressed. We got one more, and this is the project manager. And being a project manager, I just had to get to this one. So please excuse my indulgence. Those of you who are PMs, I know you've been waiting to see something that's PM related on this channel, right? Because we are the Project Leadership Institute. Let's go ahead and put this in. And as a project manager for a construction firm, your goal is to complete our new building project on time and within budget. By doing so, you satisfy our clients and increase our reputation in the industry, leading to more business opportunities and continued success. And feed it, and it gives you a response. Now you need to take this role, goal, benefit model, internalize it, so that when you're given prompts, you make the prompts as robust as can be. But great prompts are not just about knowing the RGB model. You have to be dynamic in your prompts. And there are different types of prompts. There are two types of prompts. You can have direct prompts. You could prompt by example. But I'm not going into any of that today because you can get that elsewhere. Let me give you a more robust understanding of prompt engineering before we go to the next section. So prompt engineering, like I said, is the process of designing and generating prompts. You got to be a great designer of those prompts by using things like the RGB and other intuitive methods, right, for artificial intelligence to produce a desired output or behavior. The prompt is a set of instructions given to the AI model that guides its decision making. It involves carefully selecting the words and phrases used in the prompt to elicit the desired response from the AI model. If you cannot get the desired response, you're not a good AI engineer. For example, in the context of language generation tasks such as chatbots or language translation, prompt engineering might involve designing prompts that are clear, concise, and accurately convey the intended meaning. In the context of image generation tasks, prompt engineering might involve designing prompts that specify the desired style, subject matter, and other visual characteristics. So this prompt that I used for this guy on the screen here, it was very precise. It had certain words in it like photorealism, hyperrealism, and the exact role of this character. Like this character, I call this character the server sorcerer, because in the story that I wrote, this character was a guru when it came to providing you with servers to run your business, although he was fraudulent towards the end. But you got to give it the prompts that will help it generate what you're looking for. This is exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a character that looked a little bit way out, a little bit sketchy and not completely real, but intriguing. And lastly, overall, prompt engineering is an important aspect of developing effective AI models that can generate high quality outputs that meet the needs and expectations of users. In a few episodes ago, I shared how I was able to take a task that took me upwards of 20 hours, and I was able to get the AI tool to spit out data for me in less than 2 minutes. Taking a task of 20 hours and getting the AI tool to do it for me. It did the thinking for me. It did the arrangement for me, the arrays, everything. So prompt engineering is everything. If you don't know how to effectively prompt engineer, you're not going to be able to use this tool like someone who can. And honestly, prompt engineering, it has to do very largely about you understanding who your role is, what the role that you want the AI tool to copy is, right? The benefit, role, goal, benefit. Those are big. Now, in closing, my friends, I'm going to give you a few more tips. And I'm going to give you 10 tips for powerful prompt engineering. Number one, clearly define the task or problem that is being solved. Number two, identify the key inputs and outputs. Sometimes the input has to be a huge data set, not onesie twosie words. No, you got to understand that the AI tool has the capacity to absorb large data sets. So spit everything that you need it to take into the tool. It could be as outrageous as copying an entire spreadsheet, right? Or feeding it several images for it to get the aggregate of the images. And I'm talking about things like Midjourney now. But you need to know what exactly you want it to do. You need to be able to visualize what you want. Use natural language. Just speak to it as naturally as possible and it will understand. But try not to put ambiguous language into your prompts because it will mess the tool up. Keep the prompts concise and focused on the most important aspects. And that's why the RGB, the role, goal, benefit format, it works wonderfully. Consider the context in which the prompt will be used and design it accordingly. Use active verbs to give the prompt more energy and urgency. Incorporate relevant domain-specific knowledge to make the prompt more effective. Consider the audience. It's a big one. Who's my audience going to be? There are times that you actually have to tell the AI tool, hey, this is the audience. Stay focused on the audience. Test the prompts with real users to identify any areas where they may be unclear or ineffective. And lastly, continuously iterate on prompt design based on user feedback and performance metrics to improve overall effectiveness of the AI model. So I hope by now this is making more and more sense to you. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, share with your friends. But I want to show you the last piece, This is my favorite, being a Marvel fan. I had to squeeze in one Marvel AI picture for you. But I'm going to give you the last key tips for prompts. You got to use the RGB language, give examples. The more robust, the better. Not just useless data, but robust, relevant data. And then you could ask it to create dummy data. I'll give you an example of that before we close tonight. Insert exact variables. So I'll give you examples of how you take exact words that you want to see in the output, and you got to feed it in. Mention the fields, feed in the fields. Mention the axes. If it's an x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, feed in that information, right? Be specific. Mention words or phrases that must be in the output and feed data in. Use CSV, images, HTML, whatever. Just feed it in as you need to, okay? And if you're looking for training and coaching in this stuff, whether you want to get good in AI art or you want to get good in prompt engineering, whatever you're working on, hey, hit me up. Go on down to pmanonymous.com. A lot of us businessy folks, we haven't had time to digest AI, but we need to. All right, so I can help you do that. But let's jump straight back into ChatGPT. I'm going to give you a few ideas for something new. So let's put in some specifics. And we're going to say you are project manager with 14 years of experience on large IT hardware projects. Write a compelling argument as to why your company infrastructure should be refreshed in 2023. Mention, watch this, I'm going to get specific here. We're going to get specific. So we're going to now put in some data. So mention the following names in the argument: Dr. Rice, It's black. The CFO, HD Bonds, and the president of the company. Mr. Kowalik. Make the response as robust as possible. Now, I'm going to give it 2 things to do. This is the first one. This is really more free form, and let's see what it comes out with. So you see how it took those names and addresses them right there in the first section, and off to the races it goes. All the logic and all the thinking. I often tell people the logic of the Einsteins and the logic of the Edisons and the Fords, it's all out there on the web. This tool is super smart. Don't underestimate the power of ChatGPT. It knows far more than a human does because it's able to access all of the logic and reasoning and rationale that is relevant and make it concise. And there you go. In conclusion, I strongly recommend that we refresh our infrastructure in 2023. You see how it keeps anchoring back to the major things I told it. This upgrade will provide our company with a solid foundation for growth, blah, blah, blah. So it's made a compelling argument. Did all my heavy lifting for me. Let me show you one more thing that you can get this thing to do. All right. So project manager with 14 years of experience, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm going to ask you to write something different. Build a compelling argument. Watch this, in tabular view, showing the pros and the cons of a hardware and software upgrade. Include the cost-benefit analysis in a separate field. Watch this. Off to the races. It's going to give you a tabular view with all those fields that were asked. This is what prompt engineering is about. It's about knowing how to prompt the tool to give you great data like this, to give you great output that you could take back to your real world without struggling for hours and hours on end putting this information together. First of all, typing the information is a drag. Secondly, the logic of it, you can never outdo the tool. It's too smart. It's been proven. This thing passed the bar exam. So if I were you, my friend, I would take this information, I would learn it, I would get good with the RGB. If you are lost and you need additional help, or maybe you want your team trained in this stuff, get help at pmanonymous.com. But don't forget, if ever in doubt, you got to use the role, goal, benefit, prompt language model. You got to use that model just like I've shown you in these examples. This is powerful stuff, my friends. And you got to get very specific, very precise when you input the information. Remember, you got to mention fields, mention axes, be specific, mention words or phrases that must be, and feed data in. Now, project managers, quick tip for you, because I know lots of you have timelines, you have backlogs to develop. Let me show you this. Those of you Scrum Masters and project managers, I'm going to show you how to get this thing to build you a product backlog to get started to solve a random problem. So let's say we got a random need from our stakeholders. Maybe our stakeholders want an upgrade to Windows, right? Create a backlog. Now watch this. I'm going to put the role, goal, benefit thing in here, right? So I'm going to say you are, let's do this again. You are a portfolio manager trying to make a case for a hardware and software refresh for all infrastructure and Windows. Create a product backlog for this endeavor, breaking the information down into, watch this, releases, sprints, epics, features, releases, sprints. I'm just going to give it a lot of random data and you're going to see the brilliance of the tool. Let's say stories. Use as many lines and columns as is necessary to paint a clear picture for the less technical stakeholders, resulting in a green light to go ahead. Watch this, my friends. Watch the brilliance of the tool. It took the key elements that I gave it. It knows its epics. It knows what features are. It knows what stories should be bunched into which release. And there it goes as a starting point. Don't get me wrong. Of course, you are a professional, right? Mr. Product Owner, Mr. or Miss Portfolio Manager. But I'm telling you, this is a great way of starting the dialogue. You got a meeting in the next 30 minutes. You need to bang out a huge amount of data or convincing information, compelling information. This is your tool, my friend. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? For those who will say, well, not really sure about GPT, and no, this is the tool. This is a tool, my friends. Now, I could show you what else is out there by way of AI. It doesn't come close. It doesn't come close. All right, my friends, I hope you found this to be helpful. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and if you've got any questions about this model, hey, hit me up and I'll give you some further clarity. You take care and happy AIing. Bye for now.